Welcome. What an unusual circumstance to be both late and early at the same time. How is the audio levels? Is the music too loud? Because it feels too loud in my ear, which means it is too loud and I'm turning it down. That's just life. Bear with me. I was making coffee, so I am not yet ready. I just need to send out a quick tweet. Early weekends, let's go. Do people still say, oh, wrong button, almost ended the stream. Do people still say, let's go in that fashion? Like, let's go, like that? Do people still do that? Is that still a thing? Hello, Ghoulie Slime. Yes, welcome. Welcome once more to Weekends with an A. Celebrating vulnerability and doing what we're scared to suck at. If you're scared to do something, go do it scared. Here, we don't make excuses. We simply take the things we want to do and we learn to go out there and be bad at them, because it's the first step in getting good at them. It is your moral obligation to suck at things. I am asking you now to suck at things and be okay with that and to celebrate it. In that spirit, I am working on my dream of making a comic book. You might have heard of them from TV's Stranger Things. You still do? Ironically, sure. This is the thing. When you start to become an old, as I am, the difference between what is ironic slang and what is sincere slang, completely meaningless. It's all just the same. I made a freehand perler bead design yesterday and everybody loved it. I tried to suck and became a star. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're supposed to suck at things. But good job. Good job for doing a new thing, unironically. Okay, so I think we're going to move on from this page for now. There's still like some stuff I would like to do with it, obviously. I would like to add in some shadows and lighting and some more details in the backgrounds. But I think we're going to just move to the next page and just get, just to keep that sense of momentum going. I felt like it was yesterday. It felt like not a lot of progress, even though it was, right? Like we got it all colored. We did this whole thing. But yeah, we can come back to it and finish it off another time. That's no problem. So we'll save. We're gonna new. Hold on. Let's make sure we get the same settings and everything. File. Save as. P2. And then we're just going to, we're on P2. All of this is going to go. Boop. Get out of here. Be deleted. All right. Did I just see a bucket full of poop? 'Twas mud. Okay. I'm also trying to write a stupid novel.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Make your dreams come true. Just
started making myself more feminine, and I failed at applying Nair properly. Some spots on my arms weren't covered enough. Can't wait to give it another go in a few days. Well, let me tell you something, Biomonstrosity. I've been shaving my legs a great deal more lately, and I can tell you missing a spot is fairly typical. So I'm going to chalk that one up to a
flawless victory.
All right. Now, just for comparison, let's also have P1 open, because I want to know. Yeah. Okay, so we didn't really stick to these at all. Good to know. Okay, so the outside one, which is good. That gives me more room. Okay. So we're going to start off with a sketch like we did last time. This time, though, we're just going to do, instead of doing the panels first and then doing sketches inside each panel, we're just going to do one sketch layer. I think that'll make things a lot easier. Oh, no. Raster layer. Bear with me one moment. We're wrong color. Just so that we know where we're at here. Okay. So, I'm going to roughly 6 panels. And which means we can get rid of the that shit, because it's just complicating our lives. So, first panel. So I was thinking it would be this page. Also, I have far less of a vision in mind. I want to kind of show Ollie coming home from work and living kind of pathetically. So there's a few things I definitely want in there. I want him microwaving a frozen dinner, and I want him drinking a beer, and I want him sitting on a chair in his underpants, kind of like, you know, slumped over looking at his phone. And on his phone, there's going to be clown pornography, which is going to be a running joke that whenever he looks at pornography, it's of clowns, or he's sexually attracted to clowns. Which is, you know, if you're familiar with my work, I like that kind of joke. The idea that someone just has an inoffensive sexual fetish is always funny to me. So I'm thinking the first panel is him like coming home to his apartment. So like the front door of his apartment, and he's like holding some shopping bags, maybe. And then second panel is like him watching the microwave, like as it's cooking frozen dinner or something. Third panel is like him eating that like with a beer, and there's like garbage around him. Third panel is him in the underpants on the chair looking at his phone. Fourth panel, we see the phone in his hand and the clown porn. And then maybe the final panel is him making like a face, like he's enjoying it. You know? I don't get why it's funny. It's just very specific. Sometimes just sexual, like, I know there are actually people that are sexually attracted to clowns, and my intention isn't to make fun of that. My intention is more so to get into like the extreme specific of someone's life in that way. Like, just seeing someone watch pornography, that's not funny. Seeing someone watch an extremely specific pornography, that's very funny to me. Have I seen the Pokemon anime? You mean like I watched it when I was a kid, like Johto League and shit. But I haven't seen like the new one where it's all sketchy and I say sketchy, I mean like the it's got a sketchy art style in a cool way. Wow, Milto out there clown shaming, shaking my head. I am not clown shaming. Hardly. This is a representation of clown fucking. And now, see, the position I've put myself in is I have to figure out what the back of Ollie's head looks like. But luckily this is just a sketch, or a thumbnail rather, not even a sketch. Did someone say slight bald spot? I'm not going to give him a bald spot. I think that ages him a bit too much, in my opinion. I was thinking for the clown porn also, just because I want a punchline on the page, right? It's when you see the thing, when you see the image, she's just like, it's like this clown lady, and she's like, squeeze my tits. And then when it shows Ollie, and he's like lying in his underpants, and he's looking at his phone, and you hear the sound effect honk honk. I think that would be. I started going bald in my early 20s. I hate the association of baldness and being a loser. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think the reason people in this chat were suggesting it was less so that it would make him a loser and more so that it's like bad luck, right? Which you might not see it that way. But definitely a lot of people do. But I feel you. Okay. Basically, any association with something you can't control and being a loser is terrible. Yeah, I feel like, though, with baldness, if you have a character that just shaves their head completely, visually, I don't think that communicates that. But if you have someone with like the ring or like a comb over or something like that, that's how you would visually convey that. It's like someone who can't face the fact that they're balding, you know? Someone who, rather than simply accept that they just tries to cover it up. Which again, like in real life, I don't think that makes you a loser, but it's it's visual storytelling, right? But there's nothing, obviously nothing wrong with being bald. Like, there's nothing about it that should make someone feel ashamed or, you know, obviously. The hinge is way too big. We'll draw it smaller in the actual drawing. So, okay. Isn't shaving your head hiding pattern baldness? No, I think most people, if you see someone with a shaved head, you assume that person is bald. These days, anyway. Like, I don't think, if you see someone with a shaved head, nobody thinks that's, like, unusual or weird or, you know. That's a very common haircut, I think. So it's like one of those microwaves that's in the built into the shelf, like hanging from the shelf. Like mine does that. I don't know how to explain it, but like this is like, these are cupboards, and then there's the microwave like floating. You know what I mean? And then in here we'll have the tray, and on that tray there'll be like a little frozen lasagna or something. He's like a total Garfield, you know? Is there a hood fan under it? On mine there is, yeah. But that might be a bit too bougie for Ollie. I'm picturing him living in a shitty apartment. And I don't know if, like my last apartment, which wasn't that shitty even, didn't had that style microwave, but it didn't have a range fan under it. Okay, and I will draw him kind of over here. And I want him to be drinking a beer. I will work out how to render a bottle later, because for some reason, I hate drawing bottles. Should have ordered from Garfield Eats. Unfortunately, no longer an option. There is no more Garfield Eats, and Nathan Masri has, well, he's in a dark place, it seems to me. He's doing a reality TV show where someone can marry him, or at least that's his new scheme. Again, this is all just a thumbnail. This isn't even a sketch, so I don't have to worry about. I just want to block it out. Make sure everything fits. You know what I mean? And then I think here we'll have like a table. will be eating, sadly. He'll have the utensils in his hands. And in the foreground, we'll have like empty Chinese food container or American Chinese food. You get the idea. And some like empty tall boy cans. There'll be a chair behind him, obviously. Imagine what a sad reality show that must be, Marry the Garfield Eats guy. Well, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's not well, to be honest. Based on his Twitter. I don't want to speculate on a stranger's mental health, but I think it's more so a case of he thinks he's a celebrity, right? So getting to marry him is like something people would compete over. Okay, and I think we'll have him like in a big lazy boy, like a big old lazy boy type of chair. It almost looks like a car right now, the way we've rendered it. Okay, how do I So this is why thumbnailing is good. Because I have no idea how a normal person sits on a chair. If this were me, like my head would be here, and I would be lying across it like this. I know I would do that. And then I would have like one leg going like this way. Because I can't ever sit on a chair like a normal person. And yes, I'm aware of the bisexual sitting meme. How bisexual people always sit on chairs weird. An old used lazy boy because he couldn't afford anything that wasn't third hand or already in the apartment. Or his parents gave it to him and it's like several generations, you know? It's like got like stuffing coming out and like it's patched up in some places. But yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Microwave myself some lasagna and then go back to the car to tuck in. So I think we'll have him... Okay. Let's get the body position here. I think. This is the hip zone. Imagine a butt. Sometimes you gotta draw a butt first. Sometimes you start at the butt and work your way out in a drawing. No, his legs can't be that long because then he needs to be smaller in the chair. Ironically, you won't be able to see his butt in the final image. I just lost like all my viewers. Okay. Oh, you see it a little, I suppose. It's good advice for any creative medium. Sometimes you got to start with the butt first. Yeah. Okay. And it'll be like, if you're learning anatomy, pay no attention to what I'm doing, because it is not right. Here we go. I'm gonna move it a little. Started drawing in general by doodling butts every day for a while. That's how it's done. You know what is one of my least favorite things people say to artists? Is when if you draw a person and the anatomy's wrong, they'll go, "Have you ever seen a person? Have you ever seen, like, human hands?" And it's like, seeing things a lot doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get better at drawing them. And it's just such like every time someone says that, I want to hand them a pencil and go like, "Hey, draw a motorcycle." You know? Hey, have you never seen a motorcycle? You can't remember it off the, like, it's just such a fucking annoying thing that people say, in my opinion. Okay. People love to especially say it about if you draw a woman's body. Have you ever seen a woman before? Jesus. Drawing comics is liberal idealism funded by the CAA. Nothing about this furthers the anti-imperialist project against the global elite. No, this one does. This one does, actually. Thank you for the super chat. I get the joke you're making. This one is giving me so much trouble, but at the end of the day, you can already tell looking at this one's going to be a good pose. When I'm done, you can tell. Like, it's a struggle. Sometimes the best art comes out of, like, that kind of struggle, you know? Do I like the Transformers and G.I. Joe comics? I've never actually read them. I assume you're meaning the recent ones, not like the ones that came out like back in the day while those cartoons were airing, like but like the ones like the newer ones. And I think Quite honestly. Probably even in the final renders, this is going to end up being like a copy and paste frame where we have the same image twice with small differences, right? Where like he's looking at it and then, you know, something from his perspective that is extremely sexy happens, and then he's going to have a silly expression. I was thinking like he's looking at it and he's like frowning, and then in the final panel he's like got his mouth hanging open. You know how like, you know, just the idea that like he's completely mindlessly consuming pornography just to like numb himself. Joined the stream late and Mildred was just sitting silently in a toilet. No, that's quality entertainment. What can I say? This is what I do. I make videos about slime feces and genitalia and other things typically considered ugly. Okay. And then on this page, on this panel rather, you see the phone. And there'll be a sexy clown lady. If you just arrived late at the stream and you have no idea what I mean by sexy clown lady, I'm not speaking code. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. She'll have big pigtails, you know. Now here's I have no idea how to make a sex pose. Because she's going to be wearing like a big puffy clown suit, like it's going to be not like explicit at all in the comic, but see, this is an example of vulnerability. Is like I feel weird even talking about this, but like I guess she should be like going like this, like holding her breasts up, like that's kind of like a sexually explicit pose, you know. Spider Jerusalem proves bald is hot. I think you meant to type Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. She'll be kind of doing this. I don't love drawing that in front of people. That's what being vulnerable is all about. Sometimes you got to do the stuff that makes you look like a creep. I hope it's clear that the reason I'm drawing this is it advances the story. It demonstrates Ollie kind of in a dark place, just kind of living his life on autopilot, you know? Juggling. She's juggling balls, but not the right kind, if you catch my drift. It's not that I also have a problem with sexuality in comics. It's just that, like, I don't know. It is... You know what? I was going to make up some shit. I'll tell you the real reason. I'm uncomfortable visually demonstrating any sort of sexuality because I'm afraid that I'm going to make other people uncomfortable. Is the actual truth of the matter. But in this case, it's not meant to be sexualized. It's a depiction of a character looking at something sexualized. If that distinction makes any difference. Okay. Why is there 2 layers? Oh, you know why? Because I copied and pasted. So we'll just merge these. Honestly, merge those too, because I'm gonna want this below the You're making me feel less intimidated at the prospect of trying some comic drawing myself. Thanks. That's the goal. That's what we do around here. Yippee! You got to get out there. You got to do it. I still think water shooting flower pasties could be a gag later. That is good. I like that a lot. But it's going to be a gag that comes up again and again in the comic. You know, anytime Ollie has like a sex fantasy or like, you know, he's always thinking about clowns is going to be the joke. And like, believe me, I have a lot of ideas for what that could mean. I was thinking, for example, like some kind of like gangbang type of thing where it's like, sure, I'll have sex with anyone you can fit in this car. That could be what, like 3 or 4 people tops, and then you know it's like 100 clowns in the car. That type of thing. Okay. How do I make this cut horizontally? Ah, okay. You know, it's funny because I mentioned to a friend of mine the other day that the most attractive woman I ever knew was a juggalo. She was a good friend too, really sweet. Oh, we're not against juggalos in this household. How do I... Am I losing my mind? I did a vertical cut once. Maybe it's Shift and... No? Shift Alt? No. What software? This is Clip Studio. Shift does that, which is great. You know what? Let's actually make those a bit wider. No? Aha. No? No? You're using Pro or did you upgrade to EX? I'm using Pro. I don't really know what EX gives you, to be honest. And so far I have not found like a feature missing. Ah, there we go. You just drag it down. Got it. Okay. EX gives you animation for longer than 1 second. I don't really animate, so I don't think that would be worthwhile investment for me. But if I decide to learn to animate, then I would pick it up. I really enjoy this software. Like, I think it's really good. All right, now let's get these panels in order. There we go. All right. Speaking of clown porn, ever played any of the Ace Attorney games? I think I played like a little bit of the first one. But beyond that, no. It's not really my thing. Visual novels in general, I've never really grokked with, you know? Why is that? Why is that so light? Oh, because I was on the wrong color. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. The back of his head looks like an apple. I'm now realizing I've created Apple Kid from Earthbound. This is what he does as an adult. He watches clown pornography. Kind of tracks, right? Was Apple Kid or Orange Kid the good one? The non shithead one. It's been a while. I played through most of Earthbound again for the first time since first time in like 15 years when the NES Classic came out. Apple Kid made the stuff that worked? Yeah, but like, was he shitty about it? Wasn't there one of them that was like a complete shithead? And another one that was kind of cool? I could be misremembering also. I never finished Earthbound. I think I got stuck in Tucson. That's pretty early on. Earthbound's a great game. Orange Kid is the guy who helps you. You know, that's interesting to me because when I think of which fruit is more helpful in general, the apple seems to me like a friendlier fruit. Though I suppose, in a sense, the orange helps like sailors not get scurvy. but apples ward off doctors. That could be helpful or unhelpful depending on whether or not you need a doctor. I almost never finish games. Mood. It's like my brother-in-law the other day, like months ago, was talking to me about like, do you play Zelda games? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, cool. Like, when you were playing this game, like, how did you find the end game quest to get all of the pieces? And I was like, oh, it would never occur to me to even attempt that. Because I could not give less of a shit. Obviously, I didn't say that. I said like, oh, I don't think I did that. He's like, oh, you got to go back. And he's like the type of person who, when he gets a video game, he just does all of the shit in it. And I'm like, you probably save a lot of money that way, you know? Because you don't have to buy new video games as often. One video game will just have more content for you. And this will be like the number of his apartment. I want it to be something with a lot of O's to be on theme, but I don't know how to, you know? Speaking of games, have you seen Cult of the Lamb? I've heard about it. Been real into Isaac lately. My favorite character being Tainted Apollyon. Tainted Apollyon is your favorite character? You and I are very different people. I cannot stand Tainted Apollyon. Oh, I don't need to do that then. I can just use this layer. My favorite character would probably be, in Repentance, Tainted Bethany. Tainted Bethany is ridiculously overpowered, and it's just you steamroll every run. That's just me. I think I like the feeling of getting really OP in Isaac. Definitely drawn Ollie's chin too big in the thumbnail. So it should be like this. Now we're all familiar with the way that I construct faces. Thoughts on Tainted Maggie? Tainted Maggie is also a lot of fun. She's got a good balance to her, but she's not as strong in the late game. Especially against like raid bosses like Hush or the Beast, because the thing that makes her such a beast, makes her so OP, doesn't really work against big long bosses. All right, I got a posture check. Thank you, Infinite Bread 02. And Fuzzy Numbers, thank you for the subscription. And Eric Wallert CEO, thank you for the 69 bits. Though we are traditionally a anti-CEO space. And Xanth117, thank you for the subscription. I memorized almost every item pre-repentance. Well, they're all still there. Would you close your eyes when you're drinking a... No, you could have your eyes, like, kind of open. You're sad, eh, guys? I can't keep all the item descriptions in my head, so the mod is essential. Oh yeah, no, it's that mod. Even if you could, there's so many items that do like little secondary things that you might not necessarily know them for. Like which items, you know, give a spirit heart, you know. And they like changed a lot of them too. Like Mom's necklace gives a spirit heart now, which like could be crucial information that you know. It's a like I can remember that it's a range or luck upgrade or something, but I'm not going to remember all the little side effects that a lot of them have. PhD heals 1 red heart. Yeah, exactly. How would you remember that? So the spout will be like spout. I don't know if you'd call it the spout on a bottle, but that's how I think of it. Fuck, I hate drawing bottles. Hold on. Oh. It's not a. Also, where I come from, bottlenecks are like maybe 3 inches, and everywhere else they're like 4 to 5 inches. So I always think of them the neck. Thank you. I always think of them as shorter than they are, most places. That's way too small a bottle. He's not drinking cough syrup, although he could be. That would also be. You want to be careful not to make it the size of a wine bottle, because that sends a very different message. Being artsy, the worry of stepping into something too sexual is totes a worry. Hey, hi, no one takes me in now because of the sexy art, lol. I mean, again, I think it's more so, it's a matter of intention, right? So, like, what I think would be weird is, like, taking a non-sexual story and kind of putting sexual elements in them kind of willy-nilly without thought. Gives the impression that like you were just horny when you made it, you know? But like, if you're making a porno comic, then, you know, you gotta make that have sex in it. Like, you know what I mean? If you didn't, then people will be like, your comic fucking sucks. I would think. Like, if I was reading, and really the only porno comic that I can think of off the top of my head, and even then it's only sort of a porno comic, is Ogloff. If I'm reading Ogloff and there's like something sexual that happens, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Right? But if I was reading, I don't know, was just reading like a Spider-Man comic, and Spider-Man, you saw Mary Jane and she had like enormous tits, I'd be like, come on. And that does happen a lot. Come nerf this bozo. What? There's a bozo? Oh, on Twitch? Cuck ass motherfucker. I don't think, Dirty Money, that I'm going to allow you to stick around because you seem to be being a dick. So later. Ron really likes to come in here and get my goat, I've noticed. Because Ron here saying Tainted Lost is his favorite character because it's not that easy. It's easy to avoid getting hit in The Binding of Isaac. Ron, do you even play The Binding of Isaac? Outside of the bit, I mean? Or did you, in order to get my goat, like Google hardest character Binding of Isaac and like read a wiki article? Like, did you know that offhand or did you have to look it up? I guess is my question. Because I believe you've told me explicitly that you don't play that game before. I'm pretty sure I've heard, like, we've specifically talked about it. Because I've been like, I've been playing this game, and you're like, oh, the only game I play is like something like Hearts of Iron or something like that. One of those is some mech game. Too small a bottle. Hearts of Iron 4? I don't know. I play lots of games. I've been playing a lot of Dead Cells recently, actually. Okay. I went and looked it up. I've never played The Binding of Isaac, and I do not intend to. It is way too gross for me. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Which is why it's the perfect game for me, baby. You're literally watching a streamer in a toilet. No, this hand isn't doing it. So, the thing is, it should be more like... foreshortened like this. Better. I think this should.
So here's to life. And every joy it brings. So here's to life.
Dead Cells is a good game, though. I haven't played that one in a long time. I played it when it first came out. I have it on Switch. I don't have it on anything else. Although, that's not true. I have it on Game Pass. I haven't played it in a long time, though. I was going through a really bad time in my life when I was playing that game. So I'm kind of afraid to revisit it. In case it, like, brings up old wounds. You know what I mean? I think I'm not going to even bother sketching out the microwave and stuff because that's the background element that I'm going to do kind of the way I did the background elements in the, you know how I do backgrounds without the line work. And I think it's like, for what I'm going to do, I don't require much more precision than this. Do wet puppets use bidets? I mean, I don't think puppets typically, and I could be wrong, I'm no puppetologist. I don't believe that they typically do poops. I get those egg eyes. Real ones understand egg eyes. How dry can a puppet get? Like, you can have a desiccated ass puppet. For sure. Warmbo is pretty dry. I think of like, have you seen those photos of like the Ninja Turtle puppets from the original Ninja Turtles movie? Like how they look now? Like they are not doing good. Nobody's spritzed them, kept them full of goo. So they're just falling apart. To me, that's how dry a puppet gets. Do I need to go to art college to be a good artist? No. Categorically, you do not. Will it help? Maybe. I've never been to art college. I don't know what a good artist is. I think you can definitely get a lot of, technical skill out of doing something like that, but do you need to? No. I think pretty much anybody will tell you that. But my advice, if you're considering going to art school, talk to people that have been to art school. Don't ask me. How would I know? And talk to people whose art you like and ask them if they went to art school. If you see somebody whose art you think oh, I wish I could do that, then you ask hey, did you go to art school? And if so, would you recommend it? Why or why not? My dad has always been a cartoonist and stuff and went to art school years later, and all I did was give him a piece of paper that says he can do what he already did. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that art school can't be useful ever. But, it really depends on a lot of stuff. Why do you want to go? What do you want to learn? What's your skill level now? What do you want to do with it? Do you want to be a professional artist? Do you want to be a hobbyist? What's your situation? I actually watched the 1990 live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, and it really holds up. The Foot is not portrayed as just a gang, but a cult. It's legit scary. Oh yeah, no, that first movie is real good. I have long maintained that it's better than it actually needs to be. Because, any movie you make with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in 1990 is going to make a killing, right? They didn't need to make a good movie, and yet they decided they would make a good movie. And I think that's very cool. I have no idea how to connect these hands to what I've done. I do feel like his hands are in the right position. I have no idea how I would connect them to his shoulders. I might just cheat it. I might just cheat it and move them up, to be honest. I think that's what I'm going to do. This is the thing about art. Always cheat. And I'm glad I did it because it actually looks better. First movie takes the best of the Eastman and Laird comics and the cartoon and makes the best version of the TMNT. I even have a movie Shredder figure next to me on my desk. LOL. I will say one thing I wish they had kept from the cartoon is that Splinter was a guy first, rather than a rat that observed a guy doing martial arts and learned to do martial arts from that. Which I always thought was kind of silly. I like the idea that he's a guy because it explains why he can teach the turtles stuff. And it also gives them a kind of implicit motivation to find a cure for him. The silly Splinter backstory is straight out of the comic, lol. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I wish they had gone with the cartoon one instead. Like, because they took the best elements of both, right? Like, in the comic, they all had red bandanas, but in the movie, they have, like, the colored bandanas from the cartoon, because it's just, it makes more sense. All right, here's the one I have not been looking forward to. Now, if it were me and I was holding my phone, I always have a pop socket. But do I want to visually render that, or just have him like hold it? Like, I think most people would just hold it, and it just makes more sense cartoon wise to have him just hold it. But that means I have to so he's holding it with his left hand. You gotta work this out. Ugh. So that even looks like he told. So you know what? We'll just. It's got the pop socket. A bit bigger. Also, I think in these pages, it's going to be crucial that his apartment is dark and there's light coming off of his phone, like he's sitting in the dark looking at clown porn. You know what I mean? I think kind of an interesting thing to work out as we're going is each character's phone too. Because I think that's such a good way to like learn about a character. Is like what's going on their phone, you know? So like they should each have a different looking kind of phone. Like Ollie should be kind of beat up and jacked, and cheap looking, you know? Deirdre should have like a very clean phone, but like maybe even like a feature phone. Like she doesn't even have a smartphone. She doesn't see the point. As opposed to the normal lighting for looking at porn in the well-lit House of Commons. I think he's not wearing his glasses in this frame too. I don't even know what tidy whities look like. I have not worn tidy whities in a long time. Tidy whities. Realistically, I don't think anyone wears tidy whities, but they're just such good visual shorthand. Okay, so it's kind of like a wishbone type of shape in the crotch. mean, you could just look up a screen cap from Peacemaker. Boys with no balls enjoy them, LMAO. I gotta tell you, you got the testicles? They're the worst kind of underpants. I've worn all kinds of underpants in my day, and let me tell you, they're not the ones I would recommend. Alright, now what everybody's looking forward to, drawing a sexy clown. Okay, so let's just imagine there's a human nose underneath here. By the way, I see you're here rather that you solved your music issue. What are you listening to, if you don't mind me asking? Stream Beats. I just have it playing in a YouTube playlist on in a separate tab. No, it should be a smile. What am I doing? It's gotta... I just joined what is the premise of the comic being worked on right now. It's a sad guy coming home from work and looking at some pornography. I'm working on some degenerate art. Okay, we can get rid of this construction nose now. Okay. I think her hair should be like a... And of course she'll have a little hat, a little clown hat. You could do the smile paint mouth where there's a line that comes out of the corner of the mouth into a smiley shape but ends in a little circle. I like the way that this kind of, like, she's got the big lipstick, you know, the big red smile that clowns have. I just think it sells the joke. Because like it distorts her face to the point where you're like, this doesn't look sexy. You know what I mean? Am I using a Cintiq? I'm using a Huon Canvas 12, I believe is the name of it. You think I got Cintiq money? In this economy. Like a roughly collar. That's the same tablet I have. Really nice, at least for the price. Yeah, I have not yet felt the need to upgrade. I think it does everything I needed to do, quite frankly. It would be nice to have like a bigger one, I suppose, if I were... But I think like I'm at a level of skill right now where like wouldn't make that much of a difference, to be honest. There's so much more I could do to upgrade my art beyond simply getting a bigger screen to work with. That like that would be, I think, prioritizing the wrong thing. I think like eyebrows kind of going up like this. Just sells the expression a bit harder. Maybe she should be like biting her lip, you know? Like, this is my visual, this is my, like, the way I shorthand biting a lip. And then you just kind of... And this will be, like, dark. You know? What program am I using? This is Clip Studio Paint. $50 Shades of Pancake Makeup. That's too many shades. It's gonna take you too long to put on your makeup. Give her like little triangle things that clowns sometimes have, you know? I know technically that is mixing two different clown styles, but that is it's pornography. They're not going to bother to get the details of clowning, right? They're just going to have clown signifiers for horny clown freaks, I say with affection. Okay, and that's like all of the sketching, I think. Because we're just going to copy this panel to the bottom. Cut the shit, open the pit. I don't know what that means. It's a mosh pit thing. Sorry, I wasn't allowed to raid, so host will do. No worries. I had Photoshop for a while, but I hate Adobe. I heard Clip Studio is like $50. It was like $50 when I bought it. I don't know how much it costs now. I can say it was whatever it cost, it was worth it. It is a fantastic piece of software. All right, so I guess I'm only going to go for about 15 minutes longer because I have a family thing I need to go to after this. You know what? Let's save. Also, we haven't saved in like forever. Mark Monkey is a lefty streamer from Flint, Michigan, who talks about healthcare and other stuff. Okay, everybody maybe subscribe to Mark Monkey, MarcMunky. Where was I? Oh, yes. So, I guess we have 2 layers here, one of which we can toss. Or, you know what? Let's merge them. Just in case. Uh-huh. New vector layer. How do the family feel about web puppets? I don't talk to them about my work. Quite honestly. This is my wife's family, who are, shall we say, not as familiar with my oeuvre. Why is it so fucking thick? Do I normally work at 6 or 5? Have I read the book Framed Ink by Marcos Matu Mestre? I have not. Never even heard of it. Didn't account for this. Actually, I think I drew the ear too far in. Draw it back here. It's looking a bit like Stephen King. Got that Stephen King chic. It's good. It's all about techniques for visual storytelling. Maybe I'll check it out. What was the name of your recent Web Puppets vid? I'm drawing a blank. You talking about my video on Mad God? Interesting way to frame that video. You know that video you did about wet puppets? Could you be more specific? I love drawing with pencil and paper. Yeah, I mean, I like drawing with pencil and paper too. It's just, I think I am primarily a digital artist at this point. Like, I have a sketchbook that I draw in, but it's mostly for fun. Actually, I suppose all my drawings are mostly for fun, but aside from patron drawings, which I do treat as, you know, a service. I don't know if people see them that way necessarily, but that's how I like to think of them. I think we're gonna have just I didn't draw this in the sketch, but I think I'll have it nonetheless. Just a shopping bag full of sundries. Like he stopped to buy a grocery store or something on his way home. What I like about that is it implies the food he's eating is like very, well, I didn't know what I was gonna have for dinner, so I just picked up, you know, some garbage. Yeah, nose has got to be bigger, huh? Peter Jackson's wet puppets deserve more attention. So like Meet the Feebles, that's too big. Still too small. Better, I think. No. First of all, this is going to drive me. No, 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 no. Okay. Is this This is not Stream Beats. It just went to a different thing. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for that. There we go. Welcome to drawing, everyone. Where nothing ever... Just have to do everything a million times and then see how you feel about it. Again with this! Okay. Start the playlist over, I don't give a shit. So, sorry. What's this sometimes? I've clicked here, I see. No, I don't. Okay. I see what the issue is here. This is really annoying. So for some reason, maybe if I switch to a different tool? No, still, huh? For some reason, my scroll bar, which normally, my scroll bar on the tablet, which normally zooms me in and out, is just changing the width of my brush. I don't know why. But my scroll bar on my mouse still, so I have to keep moving my hand, which interrupts my flow. Should be more of a smooth line here. You know what I mean? Better, better. We're getting somewhere. And honestly, I think Less of that line. This is the thing, like a lot of drawing is you draw something, you realize I don't like it, you erase it, and then just keep doing it over and over until eventually you get something you're either happy with or can live with. These are your options. Is it a caps lock thing? No. That's so annoying with the changing the brush width. I have to figure that out before next stream. Because that makes drawing a lot harder. Really interrupts my muscle memory. But yeah, I figure this is more or less. Is money love in a capitalist system? No. Love is love. Love is real. Yeah, this will do for now, I think. And let's save, and we'll figure out raid-wise what we're gonna do. Always the most stressful part of every stream. All right. Cane Skittles, perfect. Couldn't be easier. I'm going to send you on over to Cane Skittles. An excellent YouTuber and an above average ferret. That's the YouTube chat. Thank you for coming. I will see you again next weekend with where we will be celebrating more of our vulnerable victories, and I will be working even more on my comic, and I hope you enjoyed today. I went a bit longer yesterday, went a bit shorter today, so I think it evens out in the end. But I had to go early because obviously I had the family thing to do, and I wanted to make sure that you still got your weekends. So, that being said, I hope you all have a beautiful day and get out there, do it scared, and don't let anything hold you back. If they try and stop you, destroy them. Take care, everybody. Thanks for this.